I am ready to learn about a game that is much too complicated for me to actually learn how to play.
I mean, you
Yes.
certainly could learn how to play. I just don't think you'd like it.
I don't think I would like to, but
Here,
we'll
let
see.
me give you a pitch for this game, Lizzie. It's like math homework that you choose
You already
to do.
lost me, so you don't need to continue.
It's a lot of basic addition, CJ. A lot of like, well, you're at medium range, so add +2 to your roll you have to make to hit.
Ethan, I know people, and I know that when they say I don't like math, what they're meaning is I don't like to add and subtract numbers in my head.
I was just about to say, what you guys are describing to me sounds terrible, but maybe I'll like the lore.
Should we say we're talking about? Did we ever say we were talking about BattleTech?
I think we did somewhere in there, but
Sure.
yeah, this. So
We're talking about BattleTech.
Talking about BattleTech today.
Yeah,
Whatever
and
that is, Ethan will tell us.
I'll tell you about it. I think it's got some fun. Oh,
Sorry, no, stop. No, start the music, then come back and do
If
it.
anything, the music's over now.
Yeah, okay.
does someone
Okay,
want
now-
to
now
do
continue.
Fran's thing?
Oh, right.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot. Okay, hold on. Welcome to the Lore You Know podcast, where a few friends talk about the fantastic and often convoluted lore of the media that you grew up with and love. And here to spit the mostly correct facts about BattleTech is me, the Siege. CJ.
Me, Ethan.
And me, Liz.
Liz, we brought you for this one because I know how much you love fiddling with little robots, measuring distances, adding numbers.
Now, this one is a true, we just need a girl to be here to balance it out kind of thing.
Because three boys talking about BattleTech is absolutely cancelable. That's just like, that's how you drive your viewership to zero and basically mark yourself as other for all of society.
I think for once, this is one where we need someone who's truly just like not really interested from the start in what this is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm almost
yeah.
never interested, except for Digimon.
You play this game, so I don't think you count.
I do. Listen, Lizzie, you would like the aspect of the fact that these little robots come unpainted. They're
That's great. I do like when artistry goes into something.
Yeah, they're unsullied. You get to paint them with your little paintbrush.
That's
and
great.
It's like the one scene in Toy Story 2. It's like that. Everyone knows what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
yes.
All
Not
right.
gonna elaborate. Ethan, bring us in.
Ethan,
Yeah,
tell me about why I should love these little plastic robots.
Tell me about BattleTech.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody knows their roles. I'm gonna give the information. CJ is gonna say, "Wow, that's cool," and Lizzie is occasionally gonna say, "That's dumb."
I can't wait. What do you think? We could do 60 episodes on this kind of stuff?
We absolutely could, but we're not going to. We're gonna try and this is gonna be a lore derv. We're gonna try and get this one done in relatively quick time. And speaking of that, we're gonna put just like a ground rule or at least ground awareness here that all of this history of this world and such that is put together is built backwards from the idea that we want a war game with giant robots.
Perfect.
And
That's the exact kind of lore we talk about on this show.
This would be starting with that anyway. That would be my guess.
So if you come to a point and you're like, well, logically, why would they use giant robots when they could just do such and such? Or why did people should be using drones? They're much more combat efficient. Well,
That's
no
so bullshit. That's stupid anyway. That's dumb. Listen, Ethan, I will acquiesce to your terms, but I just want to point out that when you run the episodes, you are begging me to ask nothing more, and when I run the episodes, you're begging me to stop. So
No, ask away. Ask away. Just when I give you an answer and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, accept my shrug.
Very good. Ethan's shrug.
I think we should start by let's ground the audience a bit, because we're not talking about a show or a movie.
That's a good point.
What are we
that's
talking
true.
about, Ethan?
That's true.
That's a great point.
So yeah, BattleTech is a tabletop war game or tabletop RPG, depending on how you play it. And it has been around since the 80s and has sort of been like on and off in popularity. But when I say popularity, like tabletop RPG fan popularity,
Of course.
So it's currently on a big resurgence, mostly off the back of a ton of people getting into Warhammer and then being like, well, this is too much stuff. I would rather I just had a couple robots that I could control.
Yeah, which, fair. Okay,
Yeah.
Lizzie, you also don't play Warhammer, but imagine every time we talk about fiddling with little numbers and like measuring stuff out, instead of doing that for individual robots, you have to do it for like 50 little guys who are all working together, who are like buds, and they have to stay within a certain distance of each other.
I mean, I like Fire Emblem, so that does grasp me a little bit more.
I was gonna say you would like the game if you didn't have to
Play
if it was
it?
like if it was like a video game, you'd probably
Right,
like it.
sure. Do they get to? I mean, do you get to make them kiss and date and have children that you can put in your army?
You can roll for Battle Shock, so you can see if the
No
horrors of war have destroyed their minds. That's
Oh.
kind of similar.
That's nice.
I mean, I guess you could do whatever you want in your own head.
I can make them. I can make them kiss on
I
my
mean,
own time.
Yeah, and a lot of fans do.
Okay, cool.
But we're not talking
yeah.
about that one. We're gonna
Okay.
talk about BattleTech today.
Yes.
The TTRPG underdog.
It does play. It does play very similar to like a Fire Emblem turn-based style game, though instead of a grid that you're locked into, you're just measuring things out, sort of, just in inches, freeform on whatever map you've created, and instead of a mostly melee-focused attack like in Fire Emblem, pretty much everything is ranged. Although you can
With
melee
guns.
with robot guns, but you
Great.
can melee each other.
Cool.
So
All right.
it is a good time if you have a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
Really selling it. All right, no, I'm going to get you all into it. So we're going to
Okay.
go into the far-flung future. The
Oh.
year is 2020.
Wow, I hate that.
Not a good start, but okay.
Now, obviously, as things have been going really, really good for humans for the past 40 years or so, we have been able to unlock the secrets of fusion power in the year 2020.
Dude,
and
I love old-timey optimism, like science fiction future that was like, yes, in 2020 you will have robots that take care of all of your needs, basic income for all, because there's no work anymore, because all we do is live in luxury and build spaceships and go to outer space.
Pretty sure
That is-
Blade Runner also takes place in like 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I will say we're not going to be all that positive from here out, but we are going to use that fusion power to explore more of space, CJ.
Awesome. Are we, Ethan, please don't tell me this is a grim, dark, spacefaring star fantasy. I already get enough of that in my Warhammer lore.
It's not really grimdark, as you'll see. It's the sort of difference between, like, Warhammer will be like, and all of the universe is pitted together against you, and demons are awful, but you're also awful, to this is just like regular human beings are terrible things.
This is just the usual kinds of war, not the, like, Eldritch Horrors type of war.
Right. But we're in the good years now. We've got fusion power.
I love
We
it.
immediately
2020, one of the best years, as far as I can recall. Don't remember anything bad happening then, so...
That's when we got fusion power and we colonized Mars, if you recall, CJ.
Yes.
All
I do
right.
recall something like that.
So things are going great. 2100, just a little bit further on, we master faster than light travel.
Wow. Knock that out in 100 years.
80 years.
Nice.
I was just
Good job, us.
with faster than light travel. Of course, we now can go beyond our own solar system, and we can start just colonizing the galaxy at large. And so there is this sort of like 200-year, just very positive type period of people just going out into the stars, finding habitable planets, and creating their own little like kingdoms and such there. But CJ, a lot of farly spread out colonies is very difficult to control and get to pay taxes.
That's true. Also, what do taxes even mean on like a planetary
Why did you
scale?
target only CJ for that?
Somehow
Yeah,
when I
Ethan.
think taxes, I think CJ.
Okay, that's fair.
because I like colony simulation games and games about the economy. Do you like fiddling with your economies in video games, honey?
No, I'm pretty good at making a lot of money in Civilization 6.
Yeah,
but
you are. It's crazy. Your people are just banging out like art and culture, and that equals money in this fantasy realm.
Yep.
Whereas in our real world, my scientific genius people should be making far more money.
I had a moment of like, oh, we should do a Civilization episode, and then I was like, oh, that's just
That's just
history,
the world.
buddy.
that's just the
You
world.
just want to talk about fucking Napoleon or whatever.
Let's talk
He was
about
also doing stuff like this. Big wars.
We could talk
and
about
whatever.
our favorite and least favorite civilizations to play against as NPCs, because some of them I hate to see their faces.
I
This
don't
has
know.
been
That
playing a
sounds like
lot.
it's getting to a weird place
Pete,
It's
already.
okay. They're all white guys.
It's okay. It's Peter from Russia. Hate you.
All right. So at this point, we're going to sort of split the regions of humanity into two big chunks. There is the space that we call the inner sphere, and that is basically all of the planets that are within 2 faster than light jumps within Earth. And then everything that is farther out than that is just called the periphery.
Cool.
So
That's
yeah.
not that far. I guess I don't know.
yes,
So is it-
if you must know, CJ, in order to do a faster than light jump, you
Thank
do
you.
need to get out of. You need to have like a very low amount of gravitational pull on you, and so you need to be basically on the edge of a solar system.
Okay.
And so in order to make like the FTL jumps, you have to kind of go to specific places using regular, not faster than light movement.
Right.
So to get from the inner sphere to somewhere, to get like specifically from Earth to somewhere in the periphery is going to be like a year's travel.
Sure. Just because you have to fly regular through systems to get
Yes.
to other jump points. Is the jump instantaneous? Are you just like teleporting from one spot to a new spot? Or are
The
you-
jump itself is basically instantaneous, but you do need to charge the Kearney drive for like a full month in order to do that jump.
The
Great.
what drive? The Kearney?
The Kearney drive. We can't get bogged down with the Kearney drive.
The problem is I'm fascinated by the Kearney drive, but so we're going to assume it's sort of like folding space-time on itself to connect 2 points, like in that one spaceship movie, but not like in the other spaceship movie where you have to travel fast through time.
That's exactly good enough, CJ.
Awesome. You know, usually I do. Sorry, usually I'm like, it's like this other thing, but I'm not firing on all my cylinders right now. So, you know, it's like
You know-
that one. You guys know in the audience, it's like that one movie, but it's not like that other movie. Got it. Also,
Yeah.
That's how I see life.
Humanity is fine. We're not broken at all.
okay, so you've got the inner sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the outer wilds.
And then yes, the periphery. The periphery does have like, you know, it'll have little nations of like planets put together and things like that. But they are in general like much harder to control because of the sheer like amount of time between travel distance, and because we're still at the point where like technological advancement is happening all like in and around Earth, and then the periphery planets are more people who are getting away from that shit and are more interested in like colonizing and
Right.
leaving Earth behind.
I mean, fantasy stories have come up with like a million ways to just recreate guys sailing over the ocean in boats to go somewhere else. So there's faraway places it's hard to get to. It separates people. Ethan, is everyone speaking the same language? Is it Chinese? Is everyone speaking Chinese? Who wins that whole thing?
So that's a good question that kind of transitions us into the great houses, CJ. Talking about fantasy recreations of things. All of these planets are like they're difficult to control, right? There's a bunch of sort of groupings and comrade teams within it. So the inner sphere itself is also broken up into like 8 different kingdoms, and they begin to call themselves the great houses. They move from, stupid democratic shit to like, what if we just had like a family, a noble family who might continue to control our nation going forward?
Yeah, who would opt for such a thing? Why would you? That's so fantastical, the idea that people would go from democracy to being like, you know what? No, let's just have a royal family. Let's do it that way again.
That seems just a lot easier.
I mean, space monarchy seems cooler.
If you add space to it, it sounds a lot cooler.
I was gonna say that's everything. Space fascism.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool. So there's
we're not
spaceships.
there yet, CJ.
That's Star Wars.
That's a lot of things. But see, Lizzie, it is like Fire Emblem. You've got your little houses. They're all
Well, that's yeah. Fire Emblem.
you
I
do
didn't really
have
like
your
Fire
little
Emblem
houses.
3 houses, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. Plus, you can make the people kiss, but they're your students, and that's weird. So.
Yeah. Whatever.
So
Anyway.
yeah, I'm not gonna break down each individual house because this is a lore derv and we're trying to just move along.
But Ethan, I want to know what each of the 5 ones thinks about each of the other 5 ones in every combination.
Well,
Sounds like there's more than 5.
there are more than 5, but
Okay.
also
Where did I get 5 from?
they are basically just like cultural regions of Earth that then have
Sure.
become so there is the sort of like Asian cultural one that is very
Right.
Japan focused because we love Japanese robots.
I mean,
There's
don't we,
the
though?
Russia ones,
Awesome. Everyone just took over whatever direction in space was directly above them at a certain point.
Peter
They
from
all just went
Civilization
out-
6 better not be there.
They all just
in the
went out
Russia one.
radially. I'm sure they're gonna
It's-
redo the Habsburg things and just be like, Russian monarchy's back. We found Anastasia, the real one this time, or we cloned her or something. It's the future. It's the clone of Anastasia, and they're like, oh, cool.
All right, so we've got the houses in the inner sphere, and then just kind of bunch of disparate places out in the periphery. The houses, of course, are not super big on each other, but they at least all agree that like we're the players in this game, and everybody else are the pieces that we move. And so they all want to control the periphery. And we're still at a point where there aren't a lot of rules about that. So we're going to start doing some atrocities. We're done
Sure.
with the better part being better timeline.
There are no
part.
rules in space.
What do I know? You're gonna be like, what do they want? Like, I get like
They want control.
Yeah, but like, for what? It's got to be for something. What
So
is
they
there, like,
have everything.
So like unobtainium or something, or like special whales have things in their brain that is valuable for science or some shit.
No. It is generally just the human need to be in control of others and like go out and take from other people. So they do like they want resources from these other planets, but do they need those resources, CJ? No, they don't really. It's
just-
more of just a thing of like that little country over there is in my quadrant of space, so it is mine, whether they think that they are or not. And I can orbital bombardment their planet until they agree that they are, or there's no one left there to disagree.
There is no. So, in a world where you can just go to a new planet, and I assume there's no aliens. Are there aliens?
There are no aliens.
There's
What?
no
That
aliens.
sucks, actually.
Okay. Wow. All right. So God is real, and he made humans very special.
Yeah, I guess I will say for certain there's no other intelligent life out there.
Sure.
There is other like living
deer.
stuff.
Yeah. Things to eat probably or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we will often get rid of that stuff because we know how to terraform, and
sure.
I like
regular deer there, but there's no scarcity. You have infinite. You could just go to a new whole planet and turn it into a new planet that you can live on.
You would go for it, Liz.
I just want to say I'm really impressed with CJ underplaying human greed here, because I was
know.
sold on. I was like, yeah, they just want everything because they want it.
It's so much work to be oppressive.
I feel like he's never heard of like Mr. Jeff Bezos or something. He's like, you clearly have enough. Why would you try to gather more?
Exactly.
Okay, I guess you're right. I just assumed in a world with giant robots, we would squish those kinds of guys with the giant robots.
Unfortunately, those guys have the giant
Those guys have
robots.
the
Those are the
so
giant
right.
robot guys, CJ.
Gotcha.
So the Age of War begins in the 2400s, and it is a lot of atrocities because there are no rules about this. And so
Ain't no laws in space.
ain't no laws in space. They do a lot of like nuking capitals on planets, a lot of like just orbital bombardment stuff.
Sure.
And it is pretty bad. And there comes a time where they finally say, you know what, that is maybe a little bit harsh, and we're not actually getting the things we want if we just glass entire planets that we wanted control of. So the houses come together and they create what are called the Ares Convention. And in that, they agree to like this new system of what is allowed within war and what is not allowed within war. We're not going to do nukes. We're not going to do orbital bombardments. We're not going to do biological warfare. But the problem is that the way that the Ares Convention is written, it says all of those things are not allowed, but it does functionally institutionalize war as the way to solve disputes between two different powers.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was written by a bunch of people who are under the zodiac sign Aries, which some people would say is not good.
Which is
But I'm an Aries, so I won't disparage my people.
I like to think that you were the person there, Liz, who was saying, let's not do biological warfare.
Also the concept of star signs kind of loses a lot of its punch when you are at different planets in space and the constellations are all different.
True.
That is true. So Ares Convention, we've ruled out a lot of things that we can use for modern warfare. But you know what we haven't ruled out?
Dude, it's that I knew you were building up to it, but just the idea of a bunch of like powerful weebs who are like, all right, we will still do warfare, but we will do it the only honorable way that we know how, with big giant robots that can shoot and slash each other. And they're all like, oh, yes, very good idea. Why were we even nuking people in the first place? That sucks. This is way cooler.
It's so much cooler. They are so like right around the same time as the Ares Convention, we've figured out some important technological advancements to make giant robots not only possible, but to make them kind of the best way to have ground-based warfare. And that is also the way that the Ares Convention sort of most leans towards. Mm-hmm. So everything from now on, we're gonna do giant robot warfare.
Awesome.
Cool.
Is it just better in general anyway than like trying to nuke stuff. It's just, I don't know. I guess when you nuke stuff, it's all radioactive and shitty and whatever.
Right,
And,
yeah. So the houses had sort of come to that same conclusion that they were like, well, I want the stuff from that planet. And when I nuked like all of their major cities, they don't have a lot of stuff left to give me even if I win. So the giant robots are much better for like, we're going to have a war and then we're going to occupy your planet and you will still mostly be alive to give us all of your stuff.
yeah,
And
such
you know,
a scalpel compared to the giant robots.
that's a great way of putting it. The giant robots are the scalpel of modern warfare.
So with this like inter-system travel, the are these like roadways that they have to construct to the like a start point and a stop point, or can you just like zoom out on your own with whatever? Like you've got a special ship and you can just blast out on your own.
So you could zoom out on your own. This is the point in time where people know how to make these faster than light ships, and so there are quite a few of them around. The ships themselves, the faster than light ships, are usually just like the Kearney drive, just like one massive engine that faster than light travels you, and you will have a bunch of smaller ships just sort of hook up to it from one from one solar system and then unhook when they get to the one they want to be at.
Sure. That's kind of like a train then. It like just pulls you to the next spot and then the drive can go somewhere
and then
else,
you get off. Yeah, that's the most common one. And then like, you know, the houses do have some of their own like specifically warship, like massive Kearney drive ones that they can take and then will go into solar systems and do wars.
I have to know, Ethan. What you said they need to charge? Are they charging up sunlight like a Kamehameha or whatever? Oh, really? Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is the other reason that it takes a while is that you usually like you'll jump to a solar system and then you have to go back in nearer to the sun or the star of that solar system, get you some energy, and then go back out and jump.
Sick. That's awesome. It's like that other movie, you know, where they like have to scoop up the sun. That might have been Doctor Who episode.
I was gonna say, I got no clue what you're talking about.
They have like a spaceship. It runs on sun. But they like just scoop up some sun and then put it in their engine and they're like, now we're ready to go. And then it turns out that there were living creatures in the sun and they were like inhabiting their ship because they sucked them up into their ship. You know,
give us a comment, give us a 5-star rating if you have any idea what the fuck CJ is talking about.
I'm pretty sure that's a real thing. Although, I don't know, man. Do you know about
Why would that be a
monomyth?
Doctor Who episode?
All right, I'm gonna get you back on track.
What do you mean that? Why would that be a Doctor
Talking
Who
about like
episode?
a spaceship.
I can't. Never mind. I can't do it.
No, it's not his spaceship. It's someone else's.
Okay.
He meets other spacefarers
Sure,
all the
okay.
time. He
Okay.
fights fucking space trash cans.
Right. Anyway, continue, Ethan.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what the robots look like, because I guess just saying giant robot doesn't necessarily give you a full picture.
Yeah.
So in BattleTech, our robots are generally between like 15 feet tall and 50 feet tall, and they are much more in the range of like tanks with legs than they are, you know, more of the like anime type melee robots or Gundam flying robots and such.
Right.
And so these robots are usually platforms with which to put very big guns on.
Sure. How do you feel about maybe like Pacific Rim style robots? Is that close?
Well, they're still very anime-ish robots, I would say.
I mean, they do have a sword.
They're
and
Gundam.
stuff like that.
They do have a sword. I was just randomly looking that stuff up. Their robots are more in the range of like 85 meters tall, whereas the tallest robot here is like 15 to 20 meters tall. So
They can't do it like Guillermo does it. Okay, so they're just pretty big. They're like big SUVs with legs and guns.
Right.
Big tanks.
They're big walking tanks. They usually do have like some amount of melee capability, but that's not really what they're built for.
Right. Imagine getting into one of these huge mechs and being like, so can this bad boy go hand to hand, as it's got like 50 guns strapped on it, and everyone's like, what are you talking about?
And then one guy's like, yeah, duh.
Yeah,
Don't
one guy's
build
like,
a giant robot with arms and not make it be able to punch.
Right. It's like there are some of them that's like, well, this one doesn't have any arms. It just has like 2 big old missile platforms on it. So no, it does not punch. But then there are other ones with like, with arms and like a little stabby sword on the end, and it's like, yeah, this one punches.
Sure, but they're not like robots with hands that are like holding big guns like in Neon Genesis Evangelion. They're like, their arms are big guns that they can point and shoot with.
There are some of them that are designed to look like the robot is holding a gun in its arm, but the gun is in fact part of the arm.
This are like, well, it should still look like a guy holding a gun. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, for the aesthetic, big robots.
Well, it is in part for the aesthetic, but it is also in part because they need to be connected to their mech warriors, the pilots of these. So in BattleTech, the pilots of the mechs do have to wear like this helmet that connects them up to the robot, and it does in like a sort of basic way map to their body, right? So you do have to drift with the mech to a degree.
Sure. Are they inside of it?
They are inside of the mech.
Okay.
But yeah, they use like their own mental like instincts and such, like your instinct to move your arm and that like translates into the movement of the robot.
Is it just one person, or is it like more than one?
Are there's 2? Well, you see, these ones are not so large. If they were 80 meters tall, they would require at least 2
I guess
brains.
I also wondered because like tanks often have more than one person inside them.
Right. Pretty famously, they've got like a whole crew in there.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, well, if it's a walking tank, does it have another guy in there at least? But
the tank becomes an extension of their body. So it's like I mean, I guess it's like if Power Rangers had its way, like one person controls the leg, one person.
Well, I don't know, or I mean, I guess I was picturing like, maybe one person is kind of like controlling like the walking and the movement of it, but another person is like the
gunner.
And then one person is like just helping it like run or something. Like it's like the tech guy on board.
Yeah, that is.
They have to route all of the functions. They've only got the one aux port. And it's got to plug into some guy's brain.
So it's just one person in there.
It is just
or lady. We keep saying guy or lady.
Girls are allowed to kill. Probably.
Yes. We do keep saying guy. That's because we're Midwesterners, not because we're sexist.
Right. Yes.
And in the BattleTech universe, it is actually there's no like real capability distinction between men and women being able to pilot these robots. There are
although there's probably lots of guys who thinks that there is.
Well, yeah, so the mech warriors do get like this sort of special status because functionally anyone could control one of these mechs. There are people whose brains are just going to connect better and be better suited to be these pilots.
Yeah, we call them gamers in our time. In the future, they get the respect they deserve.
I was going to say, okay, I see the misogyny loophole in there then.
So gamers pilot the robots. They are now the modern face of warfare.
Is there like a little room that they're in where they're like making the movements that the robots are doing, or are they like sitting in a chair?
Well, they're
sitting in a chair.
They're hooked up to a helmet too, you said.
But are they like pulling levers and turning knobs, or are they just like thinking about what they want to do and then it just like does it?
So it's a little bit of both, but for like basic control movement of like moving your mech with you is going to be more through your brain connection, but
Sure.
as far as like pulling up your technical systems, your electronic countermeasures, and turning those on and off and such, those are going to be things that you are controlling in your cockpit.
I
more
do
so.
like picturing it's like Dr. Xavier style, just sitting there.
Just like sitting stoically in a chair with a helmet on as your
Yeah,
robot
yeah.
is moving around you, just like blowing stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like that too. It's a little bit of that.
Sure.
It's again whatever, but it's crazy that their scientists were like, we figured out a way for you to control this robot with your mind. You do still have to push like a little button or something if you want to
Well, I think-
change modes.
I think
or
maybe it's
whatever.
more like, it's good to have like, what's the right word? Physical haptic
Sure.
feedback for your
You're-
body.
Mhm.
You're right, because it gets crazy in war, and they're like,
Yeah.
I want to change the radio station, but if it's all just touchscreen, it's dangerous. I got to be looking out for other robots.
Not a fan of the touchscreen.
They've already proved that touchscreens in cars are not really that good.
I know. I feel like we would.
So-
In the yeah.
So they'll
it's
do
like-
the same with giant robots. I imagine it'll start, like not so digital, and then they'll be like, actually, we could have touchscreens, and then
Look
they'll
at-
be like, actually, no, bad idea.
Look in
Bad
a fighter
idea.
pilot cockpit. They don't have touchscreens all over the damn place. And that's where it matters
Yeah,
the most.
they have a bunch of buttons.
It's all buttons. Put buttons back in things. Stop making things shitty.
But yeah, coming to what you were saying, CJ, you can have a situation, and they do for like a small period of time in the future, where like your brain is just entirely connected up, and it's just a full mental control. But that has a tendency to drive people insane and lead to many early deaths in pilots, and so is really only used by desperate or religiously
Insane. I was
zealot
gonna say
people.
insane people, sure.
All right. So, Age of War, lots of atrocities. We made the Ares conventions, so we're not going to do atrocities, but we are still going to do a lot of war now with giant robots.
Awesome. Good.
So,
Successful diplomacy. Excellent negotiation, fellas. Group hug in the shower.
so there is a lot of fighting on the periphery, but the houses also are like fighting themselves, fighting with each other more and more over territorial disputes. Once we have these Ares conventions, and we know that like fighting your neighbor nation for this little like planet is not going to like destroy the planet and all of its resources, they're like, oh, we can just do that all the time then.
Sure. The de-escalation made there be more war. Wow. Interesting.
So after we've done that, 100 years or so, everybody's kind of like, man, war is pretty exhausting, and I don't even have that much more stuff to show for it.
Yeah.
So the houses are finally all able to come together in agreement. They're like, we're great, and we should really be on each other's side, and they form Star League.
Cool.
This is just a placeholder name, surely, until
What,
they
did
come
Trump
up with a
name
better
it?
name.
Star League.
Cool.
Everything is named like that.
Quick,
Cool.
everyone, come with a better name. The Alliance of Starcasters. Lizzie, now you go.
I don't know. I need more time to think of an actual good one.
No, you have to do it off the cuff. It's improv.
Okay.
The Council of Terra. We call
That's
Earth
nice.
Terra now.
Yeah, right.
Galaxy Boys.
I like Galaxy
All right, that one
folks.
wins.
Boys gender neutral.
It's
Right.
BOI
It's
boys.
BOI. It's
Yeah,
BOI boys with a
BOIS,
Z.
yeah.
Yeah. Like what orcs do.
But no, we're gonna call it Star League.
Great.
And so all the houses have come together now, and they're sharing technology, and so we're having like another big movement forward technologically, and we do still want all the stuff that the periphery has, though. That should be our stuff by right.
Right.
So the Star League is going to start the reunification war because you guys should be part. We're all like a collective humanity now, and you should be part of that whether you want to or not.
Sure. They decided everyone is in the boys, the Galaxy Boys now, and so they're like, and by force if necessary. Is it necessary, Ethan?
It is necessary.
Oh,
a lot of periphery states do not want to be part of the inner sphere. They have spent the past 200 years being either orbitably bombarded or then, much more peacefully robot stomped to destruction. It's kind of this weird thing, CJ, where they're less technologically advanced states, but they're less technologically advanced because their progress keeps getting setbacks from the big boys destroying them over and over again.
This truly is fantasy.
So all of this to say that even though the inner sphere is now all on the same team, we are still constantly building up our military force because we're just sending it out deeper into space in order to take over more periphery nations.
But there's no more infighting in the inner sphere.
There's no more infighting, and it's going to stay that way for almost 200 years.
Wow. They really left things to happen in 200-year intervals. I think they just like a nice round number, it sounds like.
It's a very good amount of time to be able to throw in some wars and bad things happening later.
Do people live longer in this far-flung future?
Not like particularly.
Okay.
I think the this might surprise you, but the rich probably do better.
Yeah.
But no, to the best of my knowledge, we're still like, people are maybe getting to like 100 on average more often, but
Sure.
we're not like everyone lives 400 years kind of thing.
It's not like Dune where everyone is like 500 years old or whatever because they're all smoking the spice.
Right. And so, speaking of that, in the 200 years since Star League, they always have what they call the First Lord, but is functionally Space King, right? It's a representative of one of the houses that sits at the head of the Council of Houses. So everybody has a seat at the table, but someone has the best seat at the table.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Is
this
a vote or divine right, or what are we talking about?
So this one has basically been part of House Cameron. They were the ones who first got everyone to agree to Star League, and they were like, and we will sit at the head of Star League, and they were like,
And
I
everyone
guess
was
that's
cool
fine.
with it. Yeah, these guys that pettily fought over planets for the last 200 years were like, yeah, all right, I'll let this guy wear a cool, I assume, cloak or perhaps crown.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, in most cases, I, as head of the board, will be the non-voting member. So you actually have more power than I do, except under clause,
Yeah.
and then there's a long list. But it works out for them for a little while because they essentially, they do the classic human thing of saying, I think we're all the same, and it's those other people who are the enemy. And everyone agrees, well, I do hate others, so I'll be with you on this one.
Classic strategy.
But so we're in 2766, and things have been going pretty well for Star League. They have been slowly conquering a lot of periphery planets. Their technology has been moving forward. Everything has been pretty great. But the head of the council, the Simon Cameron, current leader of Star League, he dies suddenly and tragically in an accident. And if you remember, we're lords and ladies and genetic lineages. So his son is supposed to be the next leader, but he just a wee little lad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard this story before.
Yeah, this is a pretty common human story here. So his son Richard Cameron is supposed to be the leader here, but he is too young, and so the Star League Defense Force, which is the military, which does very little defending, mostly offense.
Well, the best defense, you know.
The commanding general Alexander Kerensky becomes appointed as the regent, right?
What's his name?
Alexander Kerensky.
Is he from the Russian one?
He's
I guess it's Polish.
I was gonna say, is he from Wisconsin? Jeez. Sounds like someone I went to middle school with.
Oh, hey there. Oh, this little dyke isn't ready.
Pretty sure he was in my middle school class.
I better take over just for a bit while he grows up there, eh?
Mm-hmm. So Kerensky he's generally like a good guy, right? He's like, as far as those things go, he's like, yes, the fact that we're a unified inner sphere and that we, are actually moving forward is good, and I want to maintain that, and so I'm going to hold down the fort. But a lot of the other houses don't like this. They did not appoint this guy. They do not like the idea of a child emperor. And so we start having a lot of backroom deals, a lot of like moving away from working together with the council and such. And eventually there is a coup on Earth in which the boy king Richard Cameron and his entire family are wiped out.
Cameron?
Dick Cameron. You usually get made fun of it less when you're king of all space.
Child emperor of the stars, yeah.
But yeah, so there's the Amaris coup happens, that entire family is wiped out, and we have a new guy who claims himself as Space King. And so we have a sort of just huge war here where Kerensky moves back, he moves his forces back from the periphery to Earth in order to retake it for Star League. It's an incredibly bloody war. Bunches of people die, and even though he is successful in this, the actual like trust between houses and such that created the Star League is functionally broken. Mm-hmm. So Kerensky retakes the seat of Star League after a big bloody civil war. But the peace cannot return, right? The houses have become insular and things are about to break apart. This is the big turning point for the setting that is kind of crazy, but I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah.
So at this point, Kerensky, he's our good guy. He believes in forward progress of humanity, and he's like, that ain't gonna happen here. Shit's about to get real bad.
Right. Everyone's sharpening their axes and looking around the table and being like,
Exactly. Yeah. So he leaves. Oh. He takes 80% of Star League military forces, basically everyone who agrees to go with him, and he starts Operation Exodus, in which they all just group together on the faster than light ships they control, and they leave known space, and they're like, you guys deal with your thing here.
Wait, they just zoom off in one direction and they're like, all right, see y'all.
Yeah, they're just like, things are gonna go bad.
Surely that won't leave some sort of power vacuum.
No.
So Star League at this point is functionally dead. The houses are on the brink of war. They make this one agreement that seems like a small thing but ends up mattering a lot, where they all say like, well, I don't like being told what to do, so I'm fine with Star League dissolving, but I do like that someone else does all of the work of keeping up a hyperlink communication across vast swaths of space.
Yeah.
And so I still want someone to do that.
Sort of the libertarian dilemma of I like living in society, but I don't really like contributing to it.
Right. So Jerome Blake was previously the head of the like communication department of Star League, right? Which their whole thing was keeping up the the faster than light communication between planets all across the inner sphere and the periphery. And so they're like, all right, you guys get to keep doing that, and we are going to give you the small remaining forces of Star League that didn't go with Kerensky, just for you. You keep the communications up, but otherwise stay out of our business.
Is there like a specific reason most of the defense force went with, like, because he has like the proper claim to inheritance, right, of all this stuff? So is that why they went with him? Are they like loyalists, or are these guys loyalists for sticking around? I guess they're both kind of loyal to someone in a way. Yeah,
so you could see both of them as the loyalists, and indeed it was actually like Kerensky was part of the push for like, listen, we're piecing out, but the remainder of you Star League guys that are staying here that don't think my Exodus thing is a good idea, you guys should work with Jerome Blake. Like, if you're gonna stay, try to keep like what Star League stood for alive.
Wow,
right?
This guy was crazy with it. He just was like, all right, we're leaving. Oh, you guys should be good to each other, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I mean, this is a bad idea now, so later.
Not my problem.
You really should come with me, but if you're not gonna, your probably best idea is to hang out with Jerome.
And the defense force includes both like actual like armies of people, but also the mechs, the robots.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are still like, ground force people and such, but definitely the mechs make up the primary chunk of any military force that can afford them.
So when he left, he took a lot of the mechs
bunch of robots with him. Yeah.
Okay.
And so Jerome Blake's been given the power. He's like, you need to keep the communication networks up. And he's like, all right. He immediately takes all of the remaining Star League forces and goes and conquers Earth. Cool. And he just says to everybody, I'm just doing what you told me to do. Somebody's gotta keep control here. Don't even worry about it. And
hey, look at that guy crossing. Wow, the name of his ship is the Rubicon. I wonder what that means. I don't know anything about history, so that's just the cool name of a truck, right?
That's a really cool name. And so the houses do like end up agreeing, because they're basically like, well, we would all have to bomb the shit out of Earth in order to make you leave, and then we lose our interstellar communication, which we do want. So fine, you get Earth and keep our communication running.
Dude, do you think because they probably all name their spaceships as, people like to name their spaceships. Surely there's been at least a couple people who name their spaceship like the Rubicon or something, and then they're like, hey, can I have some army? Can you give me some army? And everyone's just like, what's the name of your ship? No, I'm not giving you. That's crazy. You're like uninsurable because you named your ship like the fucking Julius the Julius Caesar or the Brutus or something like that, and they're like,
yeah, I mean, That's absolutely the case, but then there's enough cultural difference at this point also that like, there's some famous like Chinese betrayal story that your ship is named after that all of the like
I don't
English
speak Chinese.
I ain't never heard that story. That seems fine.
You just get like a tattoo or whatever, and you're like, it means prosperity, and it's like, no, that's actually the name of a famous traitor.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh.
This is the Trojan horse here. That means good fortune to all.
Hey, can I park here also?
All right. So Daddy Kerensky's gone. Jerome Blake has taken over Earth, and he's like, his new force here is called Comstar, and they're a neutral party. Don't worry about it.
Right. But they're just there to. So they basically made it like they're like what, AT&T. They're just like, we're just here to keep the lines up.
We're just here to keep the lines up. Don't even worry about it.
Sure.
And so when when Dad's away, the kids will play, and the Ares convention was not really getting a lot of stuff done. So what if we went back to biological and nuclear warfare?
Bad idea. Really bad idea.
I don't know. Try it.
Like Kerensky predicted, shit got bad really fast. The next 300 years are called the Succession Wars, and a large chunk of them are just all of these planets nuking each other back to the Stone Age. So at this point, humanity takes this huge leap backwards technologically. All of this Star League stuff starts to be called Lost Tech, and there's a lot of it that I have this 200-year-old robot that we've been maintaining, and it's got these amazing laser gun systems. We don't actually know how to recreate these.
Sure.
So
that's fine.
This is happening right now with AI stuff trying to take over. People are not going to remember how to make anything.
That's a great point. It's like if someone gave me a cell phone and they're like, make another of this, I would be like, no, I don't know what's going on here. Even if I took it apart, I would be like, I don't know what to tell you.
Beans.
I assume there's something like an atomic forge, or perhaps I don't know. Help me come up with you take like a sci-fi fantasy word and you mix it with an old timey word, and then that's how you get a nuclear hammer or something like that.
I do like Nuclear Hammer.
That's the name of my metal band.
I was gonna say my penis, but that works too.
Damn. Too much boy energy in here.
Really bad branding. Nuclear.
All
That's
right.
very small.
It's powerful though, CJ.
What, it has
Your wife,
power to destroy
My
life?
wife doesn't listen to these episodes.
And analog. Nuclear.
Nuclear.
So we take this huge leap back technologically.
Presumably a lot of the scientists went off with what's his name too, because they're like
a lot of the scientists went off with what's his face. A lot of the other remaining scientists continue to work for Comstar, and so Comstar has this interesting thing happen where they control the communication network. They also control, at this point, all of the remaining faster-than-light ships. But all the rest of them have been lost to war, and people don't know how to make more of them. So Comstar has, done a similar thing that they did with Earth. They're like, we will let you guys use our faster-than-light ships whenever you want. We just have routes that we go on. But attacking our ships is off limits, and anybody who does is cut out of both interstellar communication and interstellar travel.
Sure. So they're becoming the robber barons of when you control the train lines and the phone lines, then everyone has to kind of come to you.
They do also control all of the money because all.
Well, right. I mean, what do you spend your money on if not traveling through space to different places?
Right. It's like all of the other houses have their own form of currency, but that's all very complicated and hard to back the money. Whereas Comstar puts out its currency, the C-bills, and everybody's like, well, Comstar's the one thing that's going to be sticking around for a long time. So that's what I trust to actually be a long-term monetary system.
What's this communication network like? Is it just like you can talk to anyone anywhere instantly? Is that the idea, as opposed to like waiting for electronic travel? Or are they literally just like, well, we've got the ships that go faster than light, so you write them a letter or whatever and we'll go deliver it to them?
So that is how it works on some periphery planets that don't have the interstellar communication set up. Is that it's literally like we wait until a Comstar ship comes into the system and sends the info. But the HPG network for communications, it does work throughout the inner sphere, and it is close to instantaneous communication, right? Like,
Gotcha.
So that system, it has its problems. Things will go down sometimes, but it is overall a reliable way to communicate with like planets across the galaxy, this chunk of the galaxy at incredible speeds.
That was part of a Douglas Adams story where he wrote about this two warfaring space nations, and the one warship was teleporting over to go fight them, and then in the time it took them for their ship to travel through like whatever warp or whatever, they had invented better versions of space travel that were faster and also instantaneous communication. So by the time that the warship got there, not only was the war over, but they had like an instant communication line between them to they'd already made peace and everything like that.
Yeah, that's good fun.
It's pretty silly. That's why I always wonder when you do space travel, is it instant or is it fast? Because if it's fast, you might get something faster, and then other people might just get there ahead of you even though you left first. It's silly.
It's silly. All right, so I guess this is probably a good point to talk more about Comstar.
Yeah.
So
they seem to be the big player. I mean, the houses exist, but they're like seem a little impotent as far as like you can't even travel between systems, right? You have to get a Comstar ferry, basically.
Right, and so they certainly wouldn't see it that way, but that is functionally the setup, and turns out Comstar actually kind of likes it that way.
Yeah,
and
weird.
They have maybe been quietly manipulating the events of the inner sphere for a big chunk of these succession wars, because when you control all the communication and all of the travel, it's pretty easy to like move the houses to be at each other's throats like however you want.
Sure. Do they have their own army, or are they just kind of like, well, if you fight us, you're just, stuck in whatever system you're in, so as far as everyone else knows, they have just like a really small army of their own that's on Earth, right? Sure.
In reality, they had the last chunks of Star League, right? They have more Star League tech than anybody else, and they have kind of just hidden bunches of it away.
Nice.
So because like everyone else has taken these steps back technologically and Star League hasn't, they have stuff that is just like way more advanced than anybody else, but they're keeping it on the down low. They do the CIA thing where
it doesn't help them really to be like, hey, look, robots. It's
right,
like,
exactly.
They're fighting wars plenty fine already, and they're making money the whole time. So whatever.
But they do love to do that thing where they're like, oh, you're leading a coup on this planet against these people that we actually don't really like. Maybe it just so happens you found a couple of incredibly powerful lost tech robots that you got your hands on. Revolution Force, you guys go for it.
Right. So they're keeping things tumultuous.
Yes. But there is also a lot of tumult that is happening within Comstar. So 300 years is a long time. And while Comstar has this stuff, they have also, like, everybody's going to lose stuff when nuclear apocalypse happens across most of your galactic chunk.
There was a reason they came up with the Ares Accord or whatever.
Yes. And so Comstar had done this thing where when they interact with other people, they pretended that they didn't know how the stuff worked, right? Like when other people hook up to their faster than light ship, and they're like, and hey, how does this, like, the Comstar people, they plead ignorance, or they did a lot of, like, pseudo religious kind of stuff, like, we do this ritual in order to make the thing go.
Wow. Now we're getting back to Warhammer 40k lore with the Omnisaya.
It is.
Which we have an episode on.
Yeah, we do have an episode on that. You can go check it out. Although I don't think we even talked about those guys too much.
No, probably not too much. But here, so they're doing it for show at first, but having generations of people do that over hundreds of years,
right?
A significant chunk of Starcom starts to be this religious system that they actually, they believe that they have to be doing these religious rites in order to actually make the technology work.
Right.
And two, they go from thinking that, we control all of these things CIA style because that is best for us, to, like, that is our religious duty as the keepers of Earth, is the keepers of humanity, to make sure that none of these houses get too powerful and end up, like, destroying each other and all of that.
Right. Okay.
So within Comstar, there is this sect that is now called the Word of Blake, from Jerome Blake, the original founder, that have decided that he was a not just, like, a guy who was making his own little kingdom, but he was a prophet, CJ.
Right. A messianic figure, perhaps.
So that is just going to sit on the down low for another, 70 years or so. But Comstar is, it's keeping everything complicated, but they have, they have their own internal struggles, and this is sort of the state of the galaxy, at least the inner sphere part of the galaxy.
Right.
Because there were those guys, what was that, 400 years ago, who left on their little exodus, right? Whatever happened to them? Whatever happened to Kerensky's forces?
I just thought they flew off and lived happily ever after. I thought there was, like, a different game that's just, like, a fun little resource management game that's not a war game, where it's like, yep, and they went off and they made science and they all were happy. And
I'm sorry, CJ. It was, in fact, the opposite. Because, you see, it turns out that doing an exodus of almost entirely military forces to create a new society creates a pretty messed up society. And it is at this point in time, we're in the 3030s now, that the people in the inner sphere start hearing... So rude.
Sorry.
The people in the inner sphere start hearing these rumblings that there are these groups that are way out in the deep periphery, like planets that have not communicated with the inner sphere in generations, and they seem to be, like, very powerful warriors, and it sounds like they have, like, really advanced technology, and that's weird.
Whoa, more advanced than from the inner spheres? How could that be?
How could that be? Well, this is Currency's Exodus groups, and they have, over those 400 years, become their own distinct culture that are called the clans.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. With the C, I hope.
One can hope.
With a capital C, but
Okay.
we're not that far off.
Oh.
Because the clans have they have decided that the culture of the houses was what like brought humanity into danger in the first place. They have, unsurprisingly, just like there are Comstar people who have made Blake into a messiah figure, they have made Kerensky into a messiah figure.
Of course.
And they have decided that it was his will that they would leave. They would, regain their forces, become a true society, and then they would come back and take over the Inner Sphere and create a new Star League.
Sure. Is this all... So, like, are they giving a shit about this because Terra or Earth has some sort of, like, significance to them still, even though...
Symbolically.
Sure. Even though there's, like, a billion planets out there.
Right,
Having
yes.
control of Earth is, like, important still.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're... How would I... So I guess the way I've been describing them in my head is that the clans are sort of like if you combined Spartan culture with like Mongolian raider style war tactics. They are heavy into eugenics.
Oh,
Great.
Which goes well with them having like an intense caste system.
Of course.
Which,
those two
you
things tend to go pretty hand in hand.
Unsurprisingly, with their entire military exodus, the warrior caste is the highest caste.
Right.
And then you've got the scientists that help the warriors do good below that, and then all of the like merchants and hanger-ons and that
People
shit
who make
below that.
food. Yeah.
So the clans are bad news, and they...
I agree, Ethan. I'm willing to say on record, I think the clans are bad news.
And I think we all agree.
And I don't think there's a lot of wiggle room for debate.
Yes.
Similar to any kind of these settings that have like, an umbrella group with a bunch of like little groups below them. There are like different clans that have all different kinds of like ideologies and such.
Right.
But as a general rule, the clans, they're very eugenics focused. They're very they believe in like warrior ethics and that the warrior spirit is the most important thing. And they don't have any respect for Inner Sphere people, as they see them as basically the downfall of humanity that they are there to purge.
Decadent and soft.
Yes, exactly so.
What's the word? Degenerate. That's the word.
Yes, I mean, CJ, they breed out of test tubes. It's disgusting.
Wait, the Inner Sphere guys?
Yeah, they just like have babies. It's sickening.
You're saying that these dudes just do like put a whatever genetic material in a tube and then a baby comes out like a month later or whatever.
Yes, yeah. I think they call people.
That's how I was born.
Yeah,
that's true, honey. You're a miracle of modern science.
Yeah.
And superior to all others. We should get rid of the lessers.
Clanners call people who are born the regular way freeborn. It does happen in their society somewhat, but those people go right to the bottom of the caste system.
Sure. So everyone
That's
has...
not what I believe, by the way.
Okay, so they're not like... I'm trying to think. Now I'm mixing too many pieces of media. But they're not like Spartans from Halo who are like... They take orphans or whatever and genetically modify them and do all that stuff. They're like bred that way in science tubes to be superior warriors.
Right. Like, imagine the movie 300, like that kind of ideology, but in sci-fi.
Right. Instead of a big hole that they kick deformed babies into, it's sort of just a poverty caste system.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and I mean, you know, the clans in many ways are not that different from the Inner Sphere. They have a bunch of their own internal conflicts, and they you know, they can hate each other a lot, but they are at least civilized people, and all the non-clanners are barbarians.
Right. Even though the barbarians live in Rome right now, and we're coming back to Rome to take.
We're coming back. We have a holy duty to do so.
Duty. Okay. Well, so far what you've described, although these do sound like big assholes, I don't see how they could be defeated. They have all the superior technology and have been breeding themselves for war for hundreds of years.
That is sort of the problem that faces them, right? As the clan invasion finally starts in 3050, and they are just sort of moving from different chunks of the periphery towards Earth, and they are pretty quickly like decimating any forces that come against them. You know, the clans have had their own rough history, but they have not lost all of the Star League era technology like the Inner Sphere has. So their robots are just like leagues advanced compared to many of the Inner Sphere stuff. So there is a short period of time where Comstar is actually pretty chill with this, and they're like, because they don't know what the clans are doing, they just know that they're like warring with the Inner Sphere guys, and they're like, oh, they're basically like doing our job for us of creating turmoil so that we can keep in control of things. But then the communication finally gets to Comstar that like the ultimate goal of the clans is to take Earth back. It's like it's the important symbolism.
It's the Holy Land.
It's the Holy Land. And in fact, the clans that are on the forefront of this are called the Crusader clans.
Wow. Be more creative. God.
Yeah, all humans ever do is fucking try and take the Holy Land and do eugenics.
Do it again and over and over.
So Comstar has its oh no moment. Like these guys do not want to be helpful to us at all. And so they start to assist Inner Sphere forces. They start to help people to bring technology back up to date, but it isn't going to be enough fast enough. And so what they end up doing is that they learn enough about the way that the clan system works that they are able to do a like what is for the clans like a religious rite of challenge that rather than you know, just have an all-out war, the clan has a system by which we do this challenge, we set these parameters, and we have just a one-planet war that we will then decide who is the victor, who gets the stuff from there. Because, you know, I guess kind of the one upside of the clans, if you could call it that, is that you know, they were created by Kerensky, who was, you know, head in the days of the Ares Convention. So even though they could be bombing planets to Kingdom Come, that's for barbarians. So they like exclusively engage in big robot military action.
Okay. And it's not like the Inner Sphere doesn't have any robots and pilots to fight them.
Right. The inner sphere has tons of robots. It's just that most of them are inferior.
Sure, but they still have some of the like pre-era.
They still have some pre-era ones. They still have some that like Comstar has assisted them in getting them at least back to like Star League era.
Sure.
But their numbers are garbage in comparison.
Do the clans have like new robot? Are they still making new robots, or have they also lost that tech?
They are making new robots, and they are making better robots.
Dang.
Generally
I don't know. It
speaking,
seems like these guys pretty much got it in the bag.
you know, it doesn't look great for the inner sphere. But Comstar, they demand trial by combat, and the clan is honor bound. The clans are honor bound to accept, and by sort of pulling out all the stops, pulling out all of their secret Star League era stuff that they had hidden away, and bringing to bear much more than the clans thought that they were capable of, they are able to win this trial by combat test, and they get I want to say a 30-year reprieve.
All right, we'll be back, MFers.
30 years.
This is just
Same
like
spot.
This is just like Mortal Kombat. Remember where they have to do Mortal Kombat, and if anyone wins Mortal Kombat 10 times in a row, then they just get to invade your land.
Yes.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so they were able to push back the clans for a brief amount of time, and in that time it's like, all right, we got to get the inner sphere back in the game. So at this point, 3058, we're gonna do Star League 2 Electric Boogaloo. Comstar convinces everybody to that they should join together in a similar alliance. They're going to spread technology between each other like they did before, and they're going to build up in such a way that they can hold off clan forces. This does like bring up the technological level of the inner sphere quite a bit, and it also creates a schism among the clans, because for some of the clans who are a little less interested in wiping out all non-clan people, they're kind of like, hey bros, mission accomplished. We wanted Star League to be reborn, and now through aggressing on them, they have done so. So we can kind of chill at this point.
Sure. Their goal isn't necessarily to conquer, but they want to like reestablish the zeitgeist that they left.
Right. So yeah, some of the clans, that's their ideology. Other ones are like, our job is not done until we hold Terra once more.
All ideologies do is form schisms and fucking do crusades on each other.
Yes. Speaking of, CJ, you've listened to me talk about this stuff enough that I feel like there's a word that I keep bringing up that you haven't heard in this podcast yet. Do you know what time it is?
Usually we talk about capitalism, but
No, with BattleTech specifically. CJ, it's time for the jihad.
Oh,
that's not what I expected you to say.
Yeah, I guess we haven't had one in a while. Us specifically.
So, 3064, the Word of Blake has at this point separated itself from Comstar and has taken over a couple of the like most important systems, and they have actually the Word of Blake is the majority controller of Terra at this point. So they have been doing everything the same because they believe that it is their religious need to do so. But they are the weird religious group, And so the houses, they support Comstar, but they're kind of iffy about the Word of Blake. In 3064, the Word of Blake, they are nominated for membership in New Star League, and several of the houses remove their support and walk out.
No thanks. These guys are weird.
These guys are weird. They seem like they would do a jihad or something. Well, the Blakeists are angry that they are not accepted into Star League, and they decide that they will try to change these houses' minds by force, and they start a holy war.
Aren't they all... Don't they have like a bigger existential threat? Like the clanners are just gonna like show up and be like, all right, we're coming to kill you now and you can't stop us. So, cool.
You know, from a reasonable perspective, they sure do. But from a religious perspective, CJ,
yeah,
they
were mean
must
to us. So now we have to do a holy war on them.
We're the only real part of Star League left. We Word of Blake followers, and you can't keep us out of Star League. And so we are gonna have to do a big old jihad on you. And so they take down because they're all part of like the Comstar network and such, and they currently control Terra, they are able to functionally take down interstellar communication. And this leads to what is known as the Dark Age, because none of these planets can communicate between each other. And so we have, right before the clanners are going to come back, just another major internal power struggle in the inner sphere. With, I believe they do more war crimes. The Blakeists specifically don't have a problem with doing war crimes.
Oh my god, they're using biological weapons and nukes?
I think they're big on nukes and orbital bombardment, if I remember right.
Dude, that's the way of the coward. Starting to come back around now. Now I'm thinking of joining the clan. Interesting.
So they, the Blakeists are eventually wiped out. We return to an age of the Republic, and that all sounds really great. I guess we finally fixed all of our problems. I don't even remember what we were all so worried about to begin with.
Right.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. Then the clans come back.
Dang. And they were like, I hope you guys have been spending this time preparing nice and good for us. We told you we were coming.
Yes. So the first time that the clans came, they were like, they elected like a single leader who would be the head of the clans and like was the deciding factor in this force and such. And that was kind of the problem last time, is that since they had a singular leader, you could challenge that singular leader to a trial by combat and put a stop to the crusade in that way. So they said, this time, I got a fun idea. How about just every clan for themselves?
Yeah, Battle Royale, dude.
We'll all do our own little invasions. Whoever gets to Terra and conquers it first, they get to be the ill clan, the leader of all this stuff, and the sort of followers of Kerensky's will.
That's fun. Making a little game of it.
Yeah, no, they're having fun with it. We get to this sort of final chunk. We are almost up to present time in the BattleTech universe. These clans are moving towards Terra, and I haven't talked about separate clans very much because I don't care very much. But we should at least say the probably two biggest major player clans are Clan Wolf and Clan Jade Falcon.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Just Wolf?
That one is just named Clan Wolf. Even though they
no
are...
frills.
They are super genetically enhanced wolves.
Oh.
Each clan has a totem animal that they are named after, and all of their totem animals were like genetically engineered to live on whatever harsh new worlds that they ended up settling on, right?
So they're literal animals that are these?
Yeah, so there's the Jade Falcons are a new species of falcon that was made to survive on Clan Jade Falcon's world. So yes, there are Jade Falcons. There is the Clan Smoke Jaguar exists and has that name because there are Smoke Jaguars. Clan Ghost Bear has...
It's just a dead bear. What possible evolutionary advantage does making the falcon green give it? Like what harsh reality of their world need they have green birds?
Son of a bitch. All right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Ethan.
No,
it's just
it's too late,
stupid.
CJ. Now I need to know. The Jade Falcon is a predatory bird the size of Terra's largest eagles, which was designed by scientists from the genes of the peregrine and the gear falcon. I don't even know what that is.
I guess that's cool.
It was to hunt the dangerous Eden serpents on Eden with its razor-sharp talons and poison resistance.
All right. So it's not green for a specific reason. It just happens to be poison resistant, and I guess that makes you green sometimes.
You do know, CJ, you've played enough video games to know that does make you green.
Making a thing green often makes it resistant to poison. Okay, so they bred these birds to kill and eat poisonous snakes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Surely they meant venom resistant. But whatever.
Poison resistance, CJ, like the tag. All right, so Clan Jade Falcon and Clan Wolf are the two clans to get to Terra, and they get there, wouldn't you know it, at the same time. They are the two biggest clans. They are constantly at each other's throats. Clan Jade Falcon are, if we had anyone who we could just sort of generically call the bad guys in this setting, it would be Clan Jade Falcon. They are the ones who are like, we need to wipe out the disgusting inner sphere lessers. Yeah. Clan Wolf is the clan that had the great honor of carrying on Kerensky's genetic bloodline, eugenically, but
still though, he's inside of all of us.
They get test tube baby Kerensky progenitors, sure.
I also like the implication of they're genetically engineering these animals to like weather whatever harsh world that they've decided to settle, but with the mighty wolf, nature has already sculpted it into the most powerful apex predator, so they didn't actually have to do anything. Don't need to change. It's just a wolf.
Again, I don't know why they're not called something fancier, because they
wolves are already perfect.
Well, they did make them like twice as big.
Well, that's really the only way you could improve them, is make them bigger.
So like, I don't know, Clan Direwolf would have sounded cool to me, but what do I know?
That's not really. Are they all like a color and then an animal, or are they?
No. I mean,
it's you got Ghost Bear, I guess.
yeah. They're not like colors, but just the idea of Clan Big Wolf,
right?
Clan Big Scary Wolf. We had to take out the scary part afterwards because people said that was cheating.
I mean, wolves are scary, and they're also pretty big, but I guess they could be bigger.
So they get there at the same time. They, of course, have to decide this with honorable combat. Mm-hmm. A challenge is put forward, and it is one of just the bloodiest and coolest battles. And if we had good guy or protagonist, I guess, to put on this series, it would be Clan Wolf. And so they have their classic thing of being outmanned and outgunned the entire time, but they've got more heart, CJ.
Yeah,
they've
sure.
got more, I don't know, plot armor.
It's just the Spartans versus those other guys. Persians? I don't know. I don't watch that
The
movie.
Persian barbarians.
Yeah, right. Well, they're both, but except they're like both Spartans, but they're like, you're the Persians. They're like, no, you're the Persians.
You're the Athenians. Gross. And so the Clan Wolf is able to take over Terra, and they are named the Ill Clan. And so in modern BattleTech, we are up to this era where the Inner Sphere is technically no more. It is now controlled by the clans. But the clans, while they, hold to their Ares conventions and such, they're not a peaceful people. And so they're not interested in having like a peaceful Inner Sphere, just one that follows their military ideology.
Of course they're not peaceful. They have giant fucking robots. Like,
Yeah. When the only tool you have is a giant robot, every problem becomes
Right.
solvable with
Yeah,
a giant
fair,
robot.
fair enough. I guess what I mean to say is that their intention was never, we'll take over the Inner Sphere and then usher in a utopian age.
Right.
So they have now taken over the Inner Sphere. A bunch of the houses have started to like ally or in sometimes like combine with clans. And we are in a brand new and beautiful age of war and mercenaries and just battle happening for the sake of glorious combat.
Yay.
And that's where you're gonna start out your campaign, CJ.
Wow. I have truly no idea like who I would align with or like for what reason I would fight in this broken world. But
all you know is to fight.
But it definitely is a pretty good setup for if all you want to do is fight a bunch of wars. It looks like there's plenty of war to fight.
There is plenty of war to fight. There are sort of constant things going wrong. I guess I can say like the big setting right now is the hinterlands, which is where the area of space that Clan Jade Falcon moved through on their way to Terra. And they did it real like Mongolian raider style, where they would come in, like kill all of the leaders and say, you guys work for us now, but we're not going to leave like anyone here to make you work for us. You just give us stuff every few months or we'll come back and kill you later.
Yeah, the Mongolians were very successful conquerors and did a pretty good job of creating a network. But it's a very decentralized way of governance.
Right, and that's kind of the current situation with a lot of worlds, is that so much stuff has been technically conquered, but everything is very like decentralized and spread throughout space.
Yeah,
and
it's a galactic scale. You can't just like, it takes time to do all this stuff. It's really like It's really stupid to name an area of space the hinterlands. What is it? Cold? It's space. It's like space cold. Just like all the other implication being that all the planets in this area just happen to be like cold planets. It's like, all right, why is this area of the galaxy only making cold planets?
Your first planet you go to will be a desert.
Oh, great. I love starting on desert planets. What is a Star Wars?
I believe that the hinterlands in this case just refers to the fact that none of these planets are on the high end of habitability, and they're all kind of ones that have required either significant terraforming or significant technology to sustain a population that lives on them.
That's what I'm saying. Why is there an area of the universe where planets just are less habitable overall, as opposed to the inner sphere stuff, which seems like basically Earth 2, Earth 3. Wow, look at all these Earths.
That's, when we do BattleTech episode 2, I will get into the cosmological makeup of habitable planets.
Well, I think you did a good job, Ethan. I feel like as you were telling us about these factions, I kind of switched sides a few times of who I was relating to. And now I don't know. But it's not.
Where are the good guys? I wish to be on their team.
I feel I don't need to play this.
What? I'm shocked. I'm shocked, I say.
I have to say I'm a certified nerd. I'm a certified dork. But something about tabletop RPG makes my eyes glaze over.
It's the dice rolling and the math and the little finicky moving of the pieces around.
What if I said your character can have their own smoke jaguar, though?
Like the animal?
Yeah.
Okay, take it all back.
See? If you think about it, my darling, what is customizing your mech if not playing dress up with a doll, but instead of accessories, it's big guns to shoot people with?
You're right. You've really truly crossed the gender divide with that comment, and I understand and appreciate it all now.
And that is what we are here to do, is to create bridges that people can eventually crusade over in the future.
CJ's doing mansplaining the right way.
Right. This is the only way to do it.
Well, with that, I think we've reached the end of another episode. Well done, you guys. Ethan, good job, my darling. Thank you for your feminine eye towards this. Sure. I'd call it pretty sweaty. Tabletop.
You know what?
Sweaty just talking about it.
People can like what they want to like, though, regardless of gender.
Yeah, of course. It's just a little. It gets a little intense when you get into as Ethan was saying, this particular setup for tabletop gaming.
Oh
is
yes,
actually
having owned the home where play sessions like this have been hosted before, it gets very warm in here in the house.
Yeah,
it gets extremely warm.
We don't get to do it anymore. We have to go to Ethan's
house.
Now.
Quite literally heated.
Yes.
No, this is again, and this is on the lighter side of a rule set and things like that. There are some people who really like very complicated rules and getting into nitty gritties and your sort of D&D 3.5ers. And then there's other people who just like to shoot the mechs and have them kiss and touch each other. And I
should specify that CJ is referring to Alpha Strike, which is the type of BattleTech that we are playing.
Yeah.
Classic BattleTech is the sweatiest version of these types of games.
Awesome.
It is fucking hardcore. Too much for me.
Too much for Ethan? Crazy. We found the limit. But go out and play your own tabletop game. Do whatever you want. Or maybe just listen to another episode of The Lore You Know. Because you've reached the end of this one. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. And we would appreciate it if you would give us a nice, perhaps a nice little rating. So we can keep making these videos. I mean, it doesn't one-to-one help us make the videos, but it makes us feel better. And then we want to keep doing it. And we will. We want to, of course, thank Gailstorm Kitsune for doing the artwork for the channel, and to Apagio for doing the intro and outro song. You could just listen to that song on repeat as you play BattleTech for, I don't know, what was our last session, 6 hours?
No, it's like a 3-hour game.
Perfect. Throw on this podcast while you play your BattleTech game. immerse yourself in the deep and rich lore. Drink from the well of mostly it's, in fairness, mostly crusading. You do one crusade in one direction, it goes the other direction. It's people fighting. Have fun out there, you know. Paint your little guys. Give them, you know, make one pink. Defy gender stereotypes.
Wow.
What more could you ask for?
I don't know.
Truly, when you are customizing your mech, it is as if you're customizing yourself, getting
Your
full
soul.
autonomy over your own path in life and forge your way through the stars. I don't know why I'm like writing copy for BattleTech. I don't work for them. They don't give us any money or anything. Although if they want to, my door's
Just give me
always
some
open.
free mechs. I'm jonesing.
Do not encourage Ethan like that. Any final thoughts, my darling?
I like Pacific Rim.
Hell yeah.
That's a great one.
What would be your? You can come up with a clan name, and you can come up with an animal. You come up with an animal, and you come up with a genetic modification. Go, and then we can sign off.
The
with our
cool
clan
celestial cats.
names. Okay, so they're cool and celestial.
Yes.
What?
Or the celestial cats, but then we'll be
I like
we're
the
the cool cats.
Right. I like the celestial cats. What is the genetic modification? that
They're
you-
like made of stars.
Well, cool. If we put a bunch of them into the ship, we can power them.
Yep. Yeah.
I think I would be the red gorillas, and they're red.
They don't have to be a color.
No, they're red because we live on a lava planet, and it makes
They're
them
like
it
fire
makes them take half
gorillas?
damage from fire.
All right. I guess I will do clan laser giraffes.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Go on.
They have a laser system that is built throughout their whole neck. There is just one big long laser cannon.
Yeah, that's why it's so long.
It just
gives
looked
times the right. It gives time for the laser.
We're a
to
very
warm up.
impractical clan, but
That's why you haven't heard of us, probably. There's not that many of us. Well, from Clan Red Gorilla, this is CJ signing off.
all right. From clan laser giraffe, this has been Ethan.
From the cool celestial cats, this is Liz.
And don't go out and do a crusade. Just talk through your problems. And
Yeah, I don't
And
know. how I
play
feel
tiny
about-
robots with your friends.
play little robots
Play
with your friends.
Yeah, maybe don't make up your own eugenics clan though.
We would not recommend that part.